Hey everyone, Scott here with another quick rules video, and today we're going to be looking at this question here. When is a battle card not a battle card? We're going to be looking at a part of the rules manual and a few card Q&As in order to answer this question. I want to start off with an example. It might not seem immediately obvious how it relates to this question, but trust me, we will get there. So here we have these two cards, and based on the text printed on the cards, people come to the conclusion that they can be used together. That's actually not correct, and I'll go through that now with you. So on the left here we have this Beerus, Godly Majesty, and his auto says when it's placed in the drop area from your hand by battle card skill, you play it from the drop area. And then on the right you have this Heles here, who's a super combo. It lets you drop one card from your hand, and then if you do, you draw two cards. A lot of people, when they first see these two cards, especially new players, they think that they can drop the Beerus with the Heles's effect and still draw the two cards, and then the Beerus will come into play. But as we can see at the top here with this card Q&A, Bandai have been asked directly about this, and they've said that it does not work this way. So if we look up here, we can see this is a card Q&A for this Beerus here. Does this card's auto skill activate if it is sent to the drop area by the Heles's auto skill? And the answer is no, it doesn't. Since this card's text specifies a battle card, it implies a battle card in a battle area. So this card's auto skill wouldn't activate. And then down here at the bottom we have a part of the rules manual. It's 8-5-4. And this basically says the same thing. That's what the card Q&A is referring to. Unless specified otherwise, if the text refers to a battle card, it's referring to a battle card in a battle area. So the reason these cards don't work together is that the Beerus is looking for the skill of a battle card in the battle area, whereas the Heles is triggered when the card is placed in the combo area. So it does not fulfill the requirement on the Beerus. And next I want to quickly look at two other cards that people also might think work with this Beerus but actually don't. So on the left we have Toppo Shade, on the right we have Zarbon Cosmic Elite. So both of these cards, for their effects, you have to drop one card from your hand. So again, people think, well, I can drop the Beerus goes to a drop area, and I still get the full effect of either of these cards that I'm using. And then the Beerus will get played from the drop area. But that's not actually the case. We can see down here there is another card Q&A for the Beerus Godly Majesty, where someone is asking whether it works with the Toppo skill, and Bandai is saying that it doesn't. There's currently no Q&A for the Zarbon that I could find, but it works basically the same way. Now, I think a reason some people think these cards might trigger the Beerus is that they do actually get played into the battle area. But the important thing to note is you drop the card before the card is played into the battle area. So in the case of the Toppo, while you're dropping the card, it is still technically in your hand. And in the case of the Zarbon, while you're dropping the card, it is technically still in the drop area, even though they do get played into the battle area. Because it happens after you drop the card, they do not trigger the Beerus card's auto. Which brings us back to the question I asked at the start of this video. I have seen people, both online and in person, misinterpret this ruling as something along the lines of battle cards are only battle cards if they are in the battle area. This is wrong. Battle cards are battle cards in all areas unless stated otherwise. Now, I do understand how people can get this ruling wrong in this way. If all you have in front of you is the text on the Beerus and, say, the Heles, and somebody tells you, well, that's wrong, they don't work together, I could see how you can maybe come to this conclusion if you don't have the exact ruling or part of the rules manual in front of you. But like I said, that is not correct. Battle cards are battle cards in all areas, unless stated otherwise. The only reason I put that unless stated otherwise in there is because while I don't think there are any effects in this game currently that can change a battle card to not be a battle card, it's something maybe they could add in the future. I know that other games do this, like I know Magic the Gathering, you can change a land into a creature or a creature into an enchantment. There are plenty of effects like that. Like I say, as far as I know, there are none like that in Dragon Ball Super card game at the moment. So I did want to quickly talk about a few cards that can trigger the Beerus's effect. So on the left there we have Broly, Crown of Retribution. If your opponent uses that on you, looks at your hand and chooses to send the Beerus from your hand to the drop area, it would trigger and come into play. Then in the middle we have Android 19, Energy Fiend. Its active main lets you drop a card from your hand to draw a card. But in this case, since that active main can only be activated while it's in the battle area, it will fulfill the requirement on Beerus, Godly Majesty. And then it's a similar story with the Nappa on the right. Again, it has an active main that can let you choose one card in your hand and place it in the drop area. So if you drop the Beerus, it will come into play, and then you'll also get the effect of choosing a Cyberman from your deck and playing that. And lastly, I wanted to talk about one more example of when this ruling comes into effect. And this is one that I've seen somebody get wrong very recently. I'm not going to say who, just because that's not the point of these videos, isn't to call people out when they get the rulings wrong. It's just to provide the correct rulings. But as you can see over here on the left, the Cooler's third auto says, if it's your opponent's turn, when one of your opponent's battle cards is decreased by the skill of one of your battle cards, draw one card. And then we can see with the Yamcha on the right, its skill says choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 15,000 power for the turn, then play this card. This is another example similarly to the Toppo and the Zarbon, where the order in which the effects happen actually matters. In the case of the Yamcha, it decreases the power of the battle cards first. Similarly to the Toppo, while that part of the skill is activated, it's technically still in your hand, not in the battle area. And as we've said before with the Beerus, if a card simply says battle cards, as this Cooler Leader does, it's only looking for cards in the battle area. So this Yamcha does not actually trigger this Cooler Leader's third auto. I believe if it played itself then decreased the power of 2 cards, it would trigger, but I could be wrong about that. Yeah, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you think I'm wrong in any way in this video, let me know in those comments down below.